I wish I could tell you exactly how to write your profile, but the truth is that there's no one format that works for everyone. So in this lesson, you're going to get suggestions of how to organize your information. I'm giving you some ideas for starters, and I have some essential profile tips for you. And let's start there with 5 profile super tips. So tip number 1, do write like you talk. This makes reading so much easier and so much more engaging. And the best test for this is to read your profile out loud. I know that seems weird, but trust me, it really works. And by the way, this works too when you're writing emails. Do you sound stilted? Do you show your personality a little bit? If there's things you want to change, make some tweaks, say it out loud again until it flows a bit and it sounds like the real you. Number 2, do make that first paragraph really stand out. Use some of your nuggets, tell them something interesting, intriguing, positive, flirty. Maybe talk about something you're passionate about, but definitely show your personality. Think about, like, can you make them smile? Don't worry about being brilliant or being snappy. No one expects that from you. Just be real and give them a sense of how it would feel to get to know you. Because the men you want to meet, they do read profiles, and catching them at the beginning ensures they're going to keep going. And you can find some sample opening paragraphs in your workbook. Okay, tip number 3, don't try to tell them your life story. Aim to keep your profile at around 300 words or so. The point is not to use all your nuggets here. You're not going to. Some of them aren't going to be long, either because it's redundant or it's too much information or it's not the right time to tell them. And it could be something that men really won't care about, which is okay. Remember, your nuggets are going to be so helpful in other areas, in your emails, on your phone calls, in your early dates. Your goal here is simply to get him to want to know more about you. Tip number 4, don't be a Debbie Downer by mentioning baggage or trauma. Unless it's something that absolutely affects your everyday life and it would in turn affect his, maybe. There's a time and a place to share this kind of information as you get to know each other, right? If you feel there's something you need to include, make it brief and say it in a positive way. Here's an example. Let's say you have a child with a disability, okay? You could say something like this. One of my greatest accomplishments has been helping my daughter grow up and overcome many challenges. It's not been easy, but it's made me more open, accepting, and more positive. See, you say it in a really positive way, and it tells you a lot of real stuff about you. Or you can say something like, life threw me a curve in 2013 that took me on a journey of transformation. That's when I found out that becoming an ER nurse was my calling. Right? Make it positive and tell more about yourself. Number 5, don't sound too anything. There is no need to repeat anything unless it's super, super important, because that will give it undue weight. Don't sound too tired. Don't try to sound too funny unless you really, really are funny, and very few people are. And definitely don't sound too desperate. Let him know you have a good life, but having him in your life will be like the icing in your cake. And definitely don't sound too busy or too perfectly happy that there's no room for a man to enhance your life, okay? This is one of the biggest ways to turn away good men, because just like you, he wants to feel like the person he's going to be with is going to be able to give him time and give him attention. Here are suggestions now about how to organize your thoughts for your profile. Start with that catchy first paragraph that draws in the right guys, okay? Make sure you include those interesting, intriguing, positive, flirty kind of things, and use your nuggets to find those. Then use a few nuggets to tell them a little bit about yourself, right? Your story, your values, your personality, even your vision of your future, what you do on a normal day. Let him see how it is to be with you. Then let him know if he's potentially the type of man that you're looking to meet, okay? Remember, do it by using your nuggets about yourself, some about the two of you, right? Some us nuggets. That about us paragraph, remember, it should help him understand how it feels like when he's lucky enough to be with you. Maybe it's about your ideal Sunday, or how you'll cook him his favorite dish, or I don't know, how you'll catch that tasteful PDA once you get to know each other, of course. And you want to end your profile with an invitation to connect by asking him to reach out. Some might call it, it's your like CTA, your call to action, right? So basically, you're encouraging him to get in touch. An example that you can use, for instance, is, are you smiling? Maybe just a little, get in touch. It's an invitation. Okay, it's time to put it all together and start writing your new profile. Get a pad and a pen or pencil, or open a document in your computer. But as a note, writing is far more effective than typing on a computer. And that's especially true when you're trying to be creative. So I highly recommend that you scribble away.